Oh, brother, oh, brother. We're getting some feedback here because I somehow ended up, okay, fixed it. We're back. You know, that's what happens when you go 3 days without working. Apparently, you forget how to do every aspect of your job. But folks, we are here. And I'm going to be honest, I think I already completely messed it up because it looks like I'm on Twitch in the first time in forever. So there's that thing. So I guess we're going to be on that service today as well. And whatever. It's a good way to commemorate not only coming back from a long holiday weekend, but also just a beautiful Tuesday, September 3rd. Hey, it's the start of a whole new month, whole new you. You know, last month out at the start of it, you're like, I'm going to stick to my plans. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to respect my risk and not over leverage. And I'm going to take my profits when I should. And you know how like a couple weeks into the month, you started to not do that. And then like at the start of this month, you're like, all right, August, it got a little bit away from us. But this time around, I'm going to get it. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Time will tell. So whole new month. And in a little bit, I do want to go over some of the hot gossip that played out over the weekend. And then I'm going to break down how I don't think September is going to be so bueno. Well, it'll be bueno if you're on the right side of the trade, but I don't know necessarily if the Bulls are going to be winning out the month, and I'll be explaining exactly my reasoning for it. Now, obviously, I'm 50-50, folks. Half the time I'm right, half the time I'm wrong. So let's just see if one of this particular discussion, information, opinion, let's see what 50-50 we're on. But before we get into all that, I hope you guys had a really fun, a really safe, a really awesome Labor Day weekend. I hope you got to enjoy and relax, hopefully in some sunshine with a pina colada in your hand yesterday as the markets, well, future markets were open for half the day. But for us equity traders, hopefully you just got to kind of relax. You know, I hope you got to do exactly what you wanted to do. I hope a lot of you got to enjoy the quote unquote final weekend of the summer. I myself had a great time with some family, friends, loved ones. Ended up going kayaking, a little kayaking trip down the Delaware River. It was a blast. It was, dare I say it, was a blast and a half. So I hope you got to do something that you enjoyed as much, and I hope you're ready not only for a brand new week, but a brand new month. And it should be a good month. I mean, this week we're going to get the unemployment report. On the 18th, we're going to have an FOMC decision. The historic seasonality of September in itself is a little bit crazy. There's definitely some serious movement. So hopefully not only do we get some big moves, but hopefully we're on the right side of those big moves. So I want to talk about all that. I want to give you an update on some of the craziness that's going on with Elon Musk and Twitter versus the country of Brazil. I want to talk about some of the interesting campaign efforts that we've seen both from Trump and Harris over the weekend. Don't forget to register to vote. Even now, I think some states we're getting pretty close to that deadline. Remember, we're going to be voting in early November, but you should be registering now if you haven't already. I don't care who you vote for. I just ask that not only do you vote, but be a little bit informed, do a little bit of research on the whole thing. That would be kind of cool. So make sure you're doing all that. And I feel like there was one other thing. Okay. Yeah. I'll talk about this in a little bit. But I got 17 displeased emails, I assume from viewers, or maybe there's just random people who I've displeased in my life. But I got 17 emails last night about the whole Goonie Discord, joining locals, missing the time frame. I don't get it, folks. I tell people for weeks and weeks and weeks in advance that there's going to be an exact date. And at midnight last night, it switched over. And then all of a sudden, last night and this morning, your boy's email inbox is going to get blown up. I missed it. And I get frustrated because on one part, I'm like, dude, I told everyone. Like, you guys knew it for days and days, literally weeks, that at the end of the month, it's going to go. But these people, if it was 3 or 4, I'd basically tell them to kick rocks because I'm like, hey, you missed it. But when there were so many, I was like, maybe it's on me. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I didn't express the date, but I kept saying the end of August. I feel like I already gave people a little bit of a runway. So instead of midnight last night, to get into the Goonie Discord, I punted it till noon today, and I am not moving it past that. You have just under 3 hours to figure out your life. It was at midnight switch. People got mad at me. They couldn't figure it out. This, that, the other thing. Everyone wanted to be grandfathered into the whole ordeal. Whatever it is, you now have till noon today. I added an extra 12 hours. I wanted to remind you on stream, you're going to get 1 extra excess hour after stream up till noon Eastern today, and it's locked in. I'm not changing it. You have till noon today to get into the Discord at the current prices. I'm not moving it past that. If you can't figure out how to do it since then, I don't know. That one then at that point is on you. But I could give you the details of that in a little bit. I didn't want to turn it over to the market, which had a pretty solid conclusion, not only to the week, but also to the month. Like, we pushed not that far away from an all-time high. You can see in pre-market, things are looking a little bit suspect. So we kind of puked, and some of the observant viewers might kind of realize, what's going on here? We're seeing the USD JPY pairing drop a little bit. Bitcoin's kind of going up. So, okay, are we seeing some weakness in the dollar? What's going on? Is it weakness in the dollar? Is it strength in the yen? But anyway, the TLDR is that right now, the shorter time frames, the 5, the 10, and the 30 on the S&P 500 futures market, not looking so good. And you could say even the 4-hour is coming close to getting a little bit tested there. If you look at the NASDAQ, same thing. It tried to go back bullish, but it was not successful. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, all bearish. And actually, even the 4-hour is now below all those EMAs. So here's a look at the bigger picture. You can see we vomited, we bounced back up, then we've just been range bound. This sideways chop trading has been very much denoted by a positive gamma environment. In fact, according to Spot Gamma, the highest positive gamma zone is 5,700, which is their current target as long as we're staying above some of these key downside levels. Really, just think 5,600 if you're looking at SPX, which for those of you who want to see the exact values right here, we're above 5,600. We had a nice close. I marked out 5,625. Their key level was 5,620, but basically, they're saying as long as we stay kind of north of this region, roughly where this chop has been, they are very much targeting all the way up where my cursor is right now. So in this video, I want to break down on this stream, this chat, this powwow. I want to break down the things that could make that easily possible and then things that kind of might get in the way of it. But before we do, stock futures slide to kick off September trading, which I will be exactly explaining why that is happening and what happened. And it all comes back to the Bank of Japan. That's why I was showing you the USD JPY pairing. Also, I wanted to chit chat about kind of just what it means. Like, out of nowhere, the whole yen carry trade blowing up caused the market to go down. Then everyone forgot about it. Then everyone said, oh, wait a second. Why are all these hedge funds going long on the yen again? What's happening? Then it kind of died down. And now it's back on the menu. Meat's back on the menu, boys. Once again, everyone's chit-chatting about the yen carry trade because the prime minister of the Bank of Japan, he's reiterating, we're jacking up our rates. We have to. And then we know that we're getting a rate cut in September. So basically, the US dollar is going to go down. The yen's going to go up, which means that the pairing itself, the USD JPY pairing, is going to drop, which does put downside pressure on the yen carry trade. And as that was being reiterated this morning, you can see exactly when it started to happen. It was around 4 a.m, and that's exactly when the market started to drop. So we're going to be breaking all of that down. But before we do, I just want to give you some of the hot drama. X blocked in Brazil after Supreme Court panel upholds suspension order. A panel of Brazil's federal Supreme Court justices voted unanimously, apparently I forgot how to pronounce things on my little mini break, to uphold orders of suspending the use of Elon Musk's Twitter social network X, aka Twitter, as in you can't use it there. So things did get a little tense and people were like, oh, just get a VPN. And then even Musk was starting to tell people how to easily get a VPN just so they could use it. And apparently now it's illegal. It is crazy that an entire country is just banning a social media platform that is like kind of saying, hey, we're here for free speech. And we're like, we don't really want that. It's not like the argument of TikTok here in the US where they're like, oh, we're concerned about data. They're not concerned about data. They're just concerned about literally their populace reading certain information, which is nuts. The court also froze the financial assets of another Musk-led business, satellite internet service Starlink in Brazil, to ensure his social network would pay its fines. So that's going to make a lot of the people of Brazil mad because they want internet. So that's crazy. Musk and his companies have said that they view the court orders as illegal and issued without due process. Musk has repeatedly called to impeach the court's top justice, the guy who looks like Voldemort, and called him a criminal. Starlink in Brazil's crosshairs as spat over Elon Musk's X escalates. Brazil's telecommunications regulator threatened sanctions against Elon Musk's satellite internet firm Starlink. It comes as a public confrontation between Brazil and Musk escalates over the country's decision to block his social media company X. All this is wild. Right now, what's going on with the social media, I guess, leaders? We know that Rumble's in a big fight with Brazil and France. We know the Telegram guy just got arrested in France. We see this playing out. It's just, what is going on in the world of social media? The only one who seems to not really be getting in trouble in terms of a big social media leader that we're not seeing arrested is Mark Zuckerberg. And is he just playing it smart? Is he just staying in the US and he's like, dude, I'm just not going to go to another country until I know what's up. So that's stuff that was playing out over the weekend. This morning, here's a little squawk box. I thought this was a pretty decent breakdown, so I just wanted to keep you guys informed on this one.
Brazil's Supreme Court upholding a ban on social media platform X. It had shut down access for some 20 million users. And joining us right now with the latest on this story, Tim Higgins, the Wall Street Journal business columnist.
Volume is perfect. Shout out GTA.
Elon Musk for years. And this, of course, raising a lot of ire and eyeballs over the weekend, or maybe lack of eyeballs given the cutoff. But what is the latest? Where do things stand? And what does it mean not just for X, but also for Starlink and SpaceX?
Yeah, well, the decision was upheld yesterday. So at this point, you can't look at X in Brazil unless you're using a VPN, which Elon Musk has been encouraging people to do. That allows you to circumnavigate the ways that they're blocking it down there. And so it's kind of a standoff at this point. Elon spent the weekend really throwing a lot of tweets at the situation, which probably doesn't help him in the courts down there. But he's kind of made his bet at this point.
From your vantage point, having reported this story out and looked at some of the legal issues in Brazil, who is in the right? And the reason I ask this is there's been criticism of Elon before where people said, look, if Turkey tells him to shut something down, he shuts it down. If China tells him to shut something down, maybe he shuts it down. I don't know. In this case, he's fighting it. Now, my understanding is he's fighting it because he believes the law is on his side. Is it?
Yeah, that's you hit on this interesting thing. I call it the Musk doctrine. And in places where there are strong men, strong leaders, where he has incredible business opportunities, such as China, he seems to be more deferential to that leadership. Brazil is a unique case here. His businesses, SpaceX, the Starlink satellite system that he has been finding success in the rural parts of Brazil. And so he has some future potential business growth in that market, but he seems to be taking a principled stand. He's making the argument that X will follow the laws of the lands where it operates. So places like China, it's not going to do what it does in the US, for example. But Brazil, he says, the government there is essentially breaking its own laws by asking X to silence political speech. And that's kind of the case he's making. It hasn't gone far. It's another market. I'm no legal expert there, but that's kind of where we're at. Is he's essentially making the case that he is being asked to break the law, and he doesn't want to do that in Brazil.
Does not want to do that in Brazil. So I'm sure that this will not be the end of this particular story. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. I just find it a little disconcerting on a global scale that more and more people, and powerful people, I don't even think it's a majority, I think just a subsect of people within power, are really trying to clamp down on this concept of free speech and basically say, no, we only want you talking about things we want you talking about. Just seems not good. But it didn't end there. So like I said, over the weekend, not only in Brazil, but in the U.S., we had our own little political drama, and I would expect this literally to happen every single day from now all the way up into the election. But Kamala firing off September 1st, Donald Trump vows to be a dictator on day one. I don't get this. Can you just say this? Like, is this in no form illegal to just blatantly say, like, when? That's my question. If Donald Trump vowed to be a dictator, oh, okay. That's very problematic. No one should vote for a person who says that. Except the issue here is he never said it. And yet we have one of the two people who's vying to be president, the leader of the free world, just blatantly lying. He didn't say it. Like, I don't understand how there's literally no repercussions for a bold-faced, like, there's not even an interpretation of this. It's just a bold-faced lie. And then Elon, I don't know, he was just on one this weekend. Kamala vows to be a communist dictator on day one. Can you believe she wears that outfit? So he's just kind of pointing out how, you can just say literally whatever you want. And this is where people kind of, I don't know, in my humble opinion, miss the key mark on the argument for free speech of, yeah, you have the right to say whatever you want, but then also other people do as well. Like, and we can fact check. And I think that's the point of the community. Is like, yeah, I implore anyone to say what they want, but then also let's make sure that some voices out there, or all voices are out there. Well, this is how I view it. This is how I view it. More of this community for open discussion. Because right here, like he's pointing out, and this is the beauty of like open discussion, is in one situation, the conversation would have just stopped here. And they would be like, nope, that's it. And you're not allowed to say anything to it. And then obviously now we live in a world where you could respond like this. He did say it, jackass. If you think legitimately Trump said, I am going to be a dictator, and if you realize that you're not taking him out of context, that's dumb. Like, you're just, I guess I don't know how to explain it to you, but if you like truly think he's like, I will be a dictator, folks, I'm going to let you on a little secret here. And like, this is a thing that many historians don't even know. So like, it's probably going to be lost unless you're like a real hardcore, like a hardcore, like just political nerd. Trump was actually already president. And I know this like might blow some of your minds. Like I know that maybe for those of you who just weren't paying attention between, I don't know, 2016 to 2020, you might forget the fact that the guy was actually already president. I know that you guys might be like, wait, what? But yeah, no, like this is, feel free to fact check me on this one. I'm pretty confident that I'm right on this one. But guess what? if these were the true desires of a dude, like if that's really where you think he was going to go with it, he probably would have already attempted to do that when he was the president, which is nuts. But you see that there? You see a little bit of how like it just doesn't completely add up. But anyway, yeah, you have to be able to learn a little bit of context. And that goes for both sides. Obviously, I do think that there's a lot of things that were taken out of context. So, for example, so you guys don't like yell at me for being like unbiased to one side or the other. We always are continually seeing things getting taken out of context. And one of the most egregious ones I recently saw the other side is Tim Walz and his son. So his son does have some developmental issues, and with that whole situation, a lot of people were bagging on the son just because he was emotional about his dad being picked to be VP. I mean, you could have your own thoughts and opinion on Tim Walz. Great, go for it. But the kid did nothing. He was just a son proud of his dad. And I think that's actually a pretty admirable thing. And so that kid's getting dunked on. And then a little bit after, people started to really trash Tim Walz because they thought he like grabbed his son a little bit aggressively. The son was about to walk into a teleprompter, which is kind of clear, kind of see-through. It can be difficult to see on a stage. The son, probably his first time ever walking on a stage with the teleprompter. Dad doing what a dad should do, ensuring that his son doesn't knock his head on a teleprompter. And yet everyone they're like, oh, we just found a disabled and now this dad's like being aggressive to a disabled kid. No, he's ensuring his son didn't knock his head. So my point in bringing this up, right even here, Yachtmaster just did it. You see, what did you say, Yachtmaster, of dragging his son like a dog? He was stopping his son from hitting his head, dude. And that's my point, is on both sides. It's just so, people get so angry. They get so irate. They just blow up about everything. And if they hear something they already align with, they're like, great, that's true. I'm not going to fact check it. And then if they hear something they disagree with it, they're going to spend all freaking day searching it. My point is right now, if you can't see that, everyone's a sheep. And like the way both sides are like playing it off of each other, it's absolutely absurd. And they know that just these like negative emotions, they just prompt so much more of a feedback loop. And we live in this world where people, like I said, they're going to believe what they already believe and they're not going to fact check it. And they're just going to say, yep, that headline agrees with me and I'm going to run with it. And then the other ones, they're going to blow it out of proportion and just like completely lie. Like it happens on both sides. It 100% happens on both sides. But anyway, it doesn't stop it. Like right here, we have the Don popping off. Meet your new neighbors if Kamala wins. Like it's getting tense, folks. Like the stuff that's happening here. Like I don't know. I don't know if there's ever really like kind of like that unknown gentleman's agreement of like things you just don't do. But like, dude, we're turned up to 10 now. And if this is 10, I don't know. Are they going to just break the knob and like just jack this political election up to 11 between now and November? Because this is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. So this is something that the Don's popping off about. Other things over the weekend, they were noticing that Kamala, and we've seen this a little bit before, and I thought it was like a one-time fluke, as I'm talking about like not trying to be the person who just sees one thing and runs with it. But now that there's like 10 different examples of it that you could easily find, Kamala really changes her voice depending on where she talks. Kamala in Detroit versus Pittsburgh, literally 5 hours apart. The difference is insane. She really, I don't know if it's a conscious thing or a subconscious thing, but she takes on a vernacular, an accent, just like the linguistics of like certain regions. And I don't know, it's like borderline racist of how much she switches, but it is humorous. So anyway, I believe the first one's Detroit, but we'll find, yeah, the first one's Detroit. The second one's in Pittsburgh. Once again, about 5 hours apart.
You better thank a union member.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, unions.
For the 5-day work week, you better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. You better thank.
All right, so that's Detroit.
Thank unions.
This is Pittsburgh, a couple hours later.
Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
It's
thank unions.
So wild. It's so wild. Like, it's this politics, once again, on both sides, has just become a game of how do you get certain voting blocks, and you just go around and you like pander to that group when you need to. You work on your speech a little bit. I guess you get a little bit of inflection in your voice this way or that way, and then you just hope you get that block and you move on to the next one. It's becoming such a dirty thing. Now, once again, this is a third one with a completely different accent, but actually I'm not showing you this because of an accent. It's we have Al Sharpton and obviously Kamala Harris, and she's talking about actually reparations, which we know everyone has some pretty hot feelings on.
But in the area of reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved, if you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that
The classic laugh. She just doesn't know how to handle a little bit of, like, I guess silence or something. She always like reverts right back to that laugh. But anyway, yeah, this was Al Sharpton. We have Kamala. Once again, I'm pointing out the different accent, but that wasn't really the point of just reparations. Obviously, for a bit there, it was like the really hot topic in California. So that was the thing that very, very, very much made its rounds on Twitter this weekend and made a lot of people feel a lot of different ways. Just because we haven't talked about them in a little bit, I thought we should. The final political update here is they are actually putting Biden back out in the world. He is giving talks, I guess, in between just hanging out at his beach house there in Delaware. He is giving a couple of chit chats, and this is actually getting sad. Not only did the DNC clearly stab this dude in the back, as they did with Bernie Sanders, and the whole thing just sad. I kind of am the opinion that his like last FU to the whole thing was actually endorsing Harris, and we could talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, unfortunately, and this is like I'm not saying this comedically at all. I truly feel bad for the dude. His mind is continuing to go. He did not speak for a bit there, and maybe you think he just needed a break, a breather, get him on some good medicine. Unfortunately, this is sad. I mean, if you agree with him or don't agree with his policies or his action, just as a human being, to see the deteriorations of someone's mind, like it is kind of heartbreaking.
You can no longer be the manufacturing capital of the world. Where the hell is that written? We are the greatest manufacturing city, county in the world, state in the world, city in the world. We're going to remain that way. Eric Dean of the Iron Workers, Tim Driscoll, the bricklayer, April Bell of the SEIU, Lee Saunders of ASME, and a great friend, where are you, Lee? And Jimmy Williams of the Painters Allied Trades and his dad. His dad is a really good man. Mike Coleman, a sheet metal worker.
We're just saying words at this point. We're just saying words, and then the audience knows when to applaud or not based on the tonality and the volume of his voice. Like when he goes up, they know to clap right after it. When he gets real low, we're basically just bouncing off of, I guess, his tonality, which that's where we're at. I don't know. I think it's time to let him go back to just enjoying the beach, because clearly his little break did not do well. All right. I do want to, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. I have a full breakdown, and first we're going to let the market open here, because I know we're going to open in about a minute. So here's the plan. As soon as this gets going, I want to do a breakdown of why I think September could actually be a little bit rocky. But before I do, for those of you who are paying attention, you can join the Discord, the Goonie Discord. Right now, the first month is free if you put in the promo code Goonie. Make sure the promo code Goonie is put in. Prices are going up. They went up at midnight last night. I had 17 emails this morning, 16 emails of people who are upset. So I pushed it till noon today. You have 2.5 hours to figure it out. I have to keep that. I can't keep hunting it. It goes till noon today. It was midnight. Too many people are like, hey man, I missed it. It goes till noon today. Your first month is free. If you like it in the first month, great. Stick around. Doesn't cost you anything anyway. In that first month, awesome, great. And then if you don't like it, just cancel your account within the first month and it didn't cost you anything. So the fact that the first month is free means this is a riskless opportunity to you. My mods will put it in chat. It's in the description of the video. I just want to let you know it goes till noon today. You literally have 2.5 hours. So if you ever wanted to be in locals, the Discord, all that stuff, make sure you're signed up as a supporter. And if you have any issues, obviously reach out to me and I'm more than happy to help you get connected and whatnot. But with all that being said, the world's largest casino is about to open on the newest month in about 3, 2, 1. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly. If not, have fun. I don't want to be that guy, but I need to give you a little bit of a stock market warning for the month of September. There's a couple things that might be brewing in the background. If they all coalesce together, it might be bad news bears. Now, I don't want to be that guy who's doomsday, doomsday, doomsday. Of course, there's the bull case, there's the bear case, and I think these are just the things you should pay attention to. So first and foremost, on the screen right now is the seasonality of the S&P 500 over the past 20 to 30 years. So you can see September choppy at first, then it spikes, and then it vomits into the end of the month. So September from a seasonal perspective is a very choppy month. So once again, that's for the S&P 500. If you're looking at it for the NASDAQ, you're going to see same thing, just not as extreme. Kind of flat at first, then it spikes, then it comes down to the end. Okay, that's just how we've seen things play out historically. So you should think, okay, a little bit, maybe bullish at one point, maybe then a little bit bearish, but not a nice trend like we see in the certain months of July or December, something like that, where those are just clearly in one direction. So for this particular September, what might cause it to break in the bullish direction or the bearish direction? Well, let me share some information with you. Government hiring is inflating jobs numbers. So if you've been listening to anything about the economy or paying attention to the stock market, you might have been hearing, okay, inflation was high. It seems like it's trending in the right direction. We're getting it where it needs to be. It's not exactly perfect, but it's not exactly horrible. But what you have been hearing about as well is a weakening labor market. We're seeing, unfortunately, the unemployment rate go up, which for those of you who are paying attention to unemployment, don't forget this Friday, September 6th, I hope you're listening to this in time, we're getting the next unemployment rate, and their actually expectation is higher than it was. So they keep raising it. Last time it was 4.1 and it came in at 4.3. Now they're expecting 4.2. So Wall Street, all these analysts, the median value, the average value of their expectation is unfortunately that more people will be unemployed. So obviously you got to pay attention to that. But anyway, private sector jobs growth as percentage of total payroll growth fell to 38% in July, the lowest level since the Rona period. Historically, every time the private payroll growth share fell below 40%, the U.S. economy was in a recession. You know that thing that we thought we were in, and then they changed the definition of what a recession is, and they're like, look, we're not in one anymore. Even though the economy is bad, we're just changing the actual meaning of it. This also means that most of the employment growth over the last few months has come from government jobs. You know, those people that we give money to and they spend way too much of it and they're hiring. Well, it feels like they're playing a little loosey-goosey with the rules of all this. Over the last 1.5 years alone, the government has created nearly 1 million jobs, the most since the 1990s. Meanwhile, the private sector hiring rate fell to 3.7%, the lowest since April of 2020. So once again, when you start to peel back the layers and dive into these numbers of what is or isn't happening, it's not so good, especially on the employment side. So obviously we're getting the unemployment report this Friday. It comes out the first Friday of every new month. But a little bit after that, you have to pay attention to the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee meeting. This is going to be the main event of trading in the month of September. On Wednesday, September 18th, we're going to find out, are we going to get a 25 bips rate cut or 50 bips rate cut? Right now, we're sitting at 5.25%. As the point that I'm recording this, there is a 2/3 chance of a 25 bips rate cut and a 1/3 chance of a 50 bips rate cut. So we know they did this to fight inflation, that now they think that they got a control on inflation. It's time to bring that Fed fund rate down, start to drop yields. Now, the argument is, we know that maybe we were a little slow to react, but the question here is, did they overdo it? Because not only did we see pressure on the labor market, but we're starting to see signs of elsewhere cracking. And this is actually being sped up by what's going on in Japan. Bank of Japan governor reiterates that the BOJ will hike rates if outlook is realized. So this is, you know how I said that there's multiple things coming together? So if we're going to cut our rates and the Bank of Japan's going to jack theirs up, that means that the USD JPY pairing is going to drop, and that puts pressure on the yen carry trade, which was the exact thing that caused this early August drop. So we dropped and they're like, oh no, we're fine, because really 2 days after it happened, really what happened was here on Wednesday, July 31st, the Bank of Japan did a surprise rate increase. People were like, whoa, we didn't expect you to do that. And then everyone started to look at the USD JPY pairing on the screen right now. So they're like, oh, okay. And then we thought we were going to start to recover some stability here until about mid-August. But as you can see, looks like we're still putting in some lower highs. So that's once again kind of on the menu concerning people. So the Bank of Japan going to jack theirs up. We're most likely going to get ours cut in September 18th, Wednesday. Definitely mark your calendar for that. But where is other pressure going to come from? Well, look at this. Small bank credit card delinquency rates just hit a record high. That's not good. I mean, so this is small versus large, but you could even see in large right here. This is even spiking. So across the board, there's some concerns, and that's what I'm referring to, of cracks in the system. Something to pay attention to, and obviously we're going to get more information, more of an idea of what this really means come mid-September. But the other thing I want to bring to your attention is this right here. We are 15 days away from the first Fed rate cut of this cycle. Using the same time frame, we overlaid the following 4 past rate cuts: 1981, 1990, 2000, and 2007. So this is 4. That's not the most amount of data, but obviously something to consider. These 4 cutting cycles match the same data that we've seen currently: unemployment rate curving up, 10-year, 2-year inversion, etc. So those are all the big economic things that a lot of people are focusing on. The sentiment from the bulls is that the rate cuts are suitable for the market. And that's the whole concept of, oh, did we pull off a soft landing this time? As in, did we pull off something that the US government and the Feds never pulled off before? Obviously, if we did, yeah, things could easily continue to rip to kingdom come. But the question is, did we do something that we've never done before? This is true in the long run. History shows that the market pumps on average for 25 days after the rate cut, followed by an average of a 13-month sell-off. So what this is saying is, if you're bullish or bearish, the answer to that is on your time frame. It's bullish in the very short time frame, as in a couple weeks. Then if you start to look at a handful of months, it actually favors the bears, where if you look at any rate cut cycle in US history, if you're looking about that anywhere from 8 to 14 months, we always have a double-digit drop. Then we bottom, and the long run becomes even better. So basically, short-term bullish, medium-term bearish, long-term, it always pays to be a perma bull. So when it comes to, oh, are you bullish or bearish? Well, the next question to that is, well, what time frame? Could we get a last pump around these cuts? Will this time be different? So I'm of the opinion that in the short time frame, especially when we're considering seasonality, up into and including the rate cut, I think the bulls are still in control. Right now, we're still in a very positive gamma environment. But when things start to come down on the backside of it, fast forward a couple weeks from there, from the rate cut, I think that's a very legitimate point where we might see some of the cracks in the economy, especially the weakening labor market, really start to present themselves within the stock market. So once again, I don't want to do this to be a doomsday guy. I just want to present you with the information that I think is pivotal to your current trades right now. And in terms of bullish or bearish, well, if you want me to answer that, it all depends on the time frame. But I just want to present you the seasonality data, what's going on in the economy, and obviously the things to pay attention to in the coming weeks. Because do I know if things are going to go up or down? God, no. It's a 50-50 guess. But what I'm very confident of is wherever we're going to go, it's probably going to be a pretty volatile, large range ride. So as long as you're protecting your risk and then riding the trend, I think this is actually, in all reality, a great opportunity to make some money. And with all that being said, we're dipping this morning. Looks like a little bit of selling. Hang on. Oh, I just wanted to go over the founder's note right here. This is from Spot Gamma. So we're going to get the ISM manufacturing numbers today at 10 a.m. Manufacturing has been weak, so probably worthwhile to pay attention to. That's in about 10 minutes. We have PMI. That's so Thursday and Friday this week. The non-farm payrolls, that's the unemployment report coming out an hour before the market opens on Friday. That's a pretty important one. But overall, what they're pointing out is we're still in a very positive gamma environment. Let me see if I can zoom in on this just so you guys can see it a little bit better. Huge positive gamma environment. So as long as we are successfully holding above it, that's a realistic target. And the movement, whether bullish or bearish, will probably be contained. It's when you're in a negative gamma environment that you start to really push the bounds. So those big range days when the stock market's up 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3%, those are all negative gamma days, most likely. I can't say that for 100% of the time, but big range days are most likely going to be associated with negative gamma because the way the options market is structured is when you get that extreme move, the way the market dealers have to hedge their positions is by continuing to push it in that way. And they're continually chasing it. And that's why you get such big range days. That's for negative gamma
Order
environments.
submitted.
When you're in a positive
Order
gamma,
submitted.
hang on. We're trading. We're doing stuff. We're trading.
Target. Order submitted.
We're trading. We have some
Target
stuff
filled.
live. When you're in a positive gamma environment, that's more, I guess a better description for that type of an environment is when you get pushed to those extremes, the dealers themselves hedge by doing the opposite, so they push it back. So basically, the dips are to be bought and the rips are to be sold. So that's positive gamma.
Target filled.
It's mean reversion. That's perfect for mean reversion. Negative
Target
gamma
filled.
is perfect for trend following. All right, looks like they're all locked in. I know it shows that I'm live right there, but as you can see, there's no unrealized. So sometimes that's a weird thing between Rhythmic and Ninja. But you can see I have no unrealized, so those are all locked in. Basically, this is a fake position. If I were to come back to this, it's still showing it, but I know I'm not in a position. I could double check my Rhythmic. But yeah, not a bad start. 250, 250, 250, 210, 210, 160, 160, 160, 210, 210, 210, 210. So I hope that makes sense. More than happy to chit chat about that as we're waiting for the market to really still open. I mean, like I said, we're only about 10 minutes into the day. Very quickly, a shout out to Public. Public has been with us for a hot minute, and there's a good reason for it. First of all, let me put up that disclosure. Make sure you read that. Obviously, you know there's risk if you're trading. You're an adult. Take responsibility for your own money. But I want to talk about Public, and the reason I want to talk about them, not only they've been partnered up with us for a bit, and that's just because it's my favorite place to trade options. No commission fees, no per contract fees, and by definition, it is the most cost-effective way to trade options because it's the only brokerage I know of that pays you rebates to trade options. So if you're buying a call and then selling a call, you get paid a rebate twice. If you're buying a put then selling a put, you get paid a rebate twice. So the biggest thing that I've heard from you guys of like, okay, I like Public. I like that they have beautiful UI and UX when it comes to the world of trading bonds. I get that it's the most cost-effective way to trade options. You get that there's no payment for order flow when you're trading stocks. You get that they have a high yield account over 5%. You know, they have that new bond thing around 7%. That all sounds great. But the major thing I'm getting from you guys, the major thing is I want to trade complex options. I want to trade strategies. I want to trade credit spreads, debit spreads, iron condors. Well, guess freaking what is predicted to come out this week? I'm hearing some murmurs on the street, predicted to be rolling out this week. So before, yes, it was great to get long calls, to get long puts. That was exciting. And it's always fun. That's always going to be a staple of my own trading. But for those of you who are like, oh, wait, no, I want to try some of these strategies that have multi-legs, it is predicted to come out this week. I'm very, very excited for it. I was reading some stuff on Reddit. I was reading some stuff on Twitter. I'm hearing it through the grapevine that there's some big stuff going down. So if there was ever a time where you're like, oh, should I try this out? It is now. This is free to download. It is free to sign up. Like I said, it's already my favorite place to trade options. And now just every single week, every single month, this platform is getting better and better and better. I always knew I was a fan of them back in the 2020, 2021, 2022 craziness when they were the first brokerage to be like, hey, we're done with payment for order flow. We think it's a conflict of interest with our clients and market makers, so we just don't want to do that anymore. So I liked them then. They weren't in options at the time. They rolled out options at the end of January, start of February this year. And between now and that point of the amount of things that they've added, is it absolutely perfect? No, but it's getting better every single week, every single month. And that's exactly why they're my favorite, because from a financial math standpoint, okay, yeah, I like the rebates, but from more of a moral standpoint, this is the brokerage that has had the retail clients back from the get-go. And from a UI UX, it's just getting better and better, and their offering is getting more and more elaborate. So for anyone, you're like, all right, like, should I try it out? This is going to be the time to do it, because I think a major thing that the public has been demanding from Public, the brokerage, is multi-legs. And the rumor mill, at least according to Reddit, is chit-chatting about it this week. So definitely check it out. I think you're going to enjoy it. Pinned to the top of chat in the description. Obviously, shout out to Public for being partnered up with the Goonie community for such a long time. The 5-minute, not looking so good on the ES. 10-minute red, 30-minute. Geez, all of this is looking a little bit, even the 4 hours breaking down over here. This hasn't happened in a minute. The last time it did, it was a quick reversion back to the upside. But the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, the 4 hour, all looking a little bit rough on NQ as well. All right, let's bring up this SPY. We're still chopping. We're still sideways. If you can't see that we're range bound, well, just look a little bit harder, because clearly we popped all the way back up and now nothing's going on. And this is the perfect visual explanation of what happens when you're in such a positive gamma environment. That it's just all the dips are bought and all the rips are sold, and that ends up keeping you range bound. When you see range bound environments like this, most likely, not every single time, but most freaking likely, you're just in an absurdly high positive gamma environment. You're not going to get big moves. So that's not the time to really be aggressively going after swing trades. But if you were to examine the gamma environment in about mid-July to about mid-August, the gamma sometimes was very negative, or at least closer to zero, but some of them, like these big moves, were huge negative gamma environments. Those are the times that, yeah, it might pay to be a little bit more aggressive with everything. So just wanted to go over that, because I think there's just interesting things that can be learned. And obviously, to track these numbers of positive and negative gamma, the best one I know of to do it is on spot gamma. But right here, as of 5,700 is the peak positive gamma zone, and our upside target due to a close above 5,620 on August 30th. Large short-term SPX support at 5,550, which may limit downside into 9.3. But the reason they're bringing up 9.3, which for those of you who don't know is today, a lot of this support at 5,550 expires today. They are options with today's expiration, so just something to consider. And also, we are about 13 minutes out from that ISM report. So are we just folding back over? Let's start to see what the options are actually doing on an intraday basis. All right. Ask me later. We did this. A little choppy. Honestly, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I know price is looking aggressively bearish out of the gate, but options aren't looking horrible. Like, they're not looking good, but they're not as dramatic as the sell-off. So I wonder if this is the old razzle-dazzle reversal, and we'll just end up bouncing off of whatever, the Q's low on Friday, or maybe the SPY. Maybe we're going for that upside gap. If this, this might be the problem. Look at this. Either the dollar's dropping, the yen is bouncing, or the combo of the two. But that the Bank of Japan thing that I was showing you this morning, that is what's freaking out the market. On that announcement, I mean, you could almost pinpoint where it happened, but it was right here. It was right around 4:30 in the morning. And then all of a sudden, we basically, in the past, couple weeks, we've been whipsawed, because everyone went from being hyper concerned about the yen carry trade blowing up, to then not caring about it at all, to then we were reading that hedge funds are going super long on the yen, and now they're back to, this yen carry trade is going to blow up. Wasn't Matt with Apex? Maybe that's what I use for futures trading. That's what I'm using here. That's for my futures account, which we still have some of these to trade. Where's 341? Let's just go to this next one. Yeah, but those are completely two different things. Apex is a sim funded trading thing where you're trading futures. That is it. I mean, the only overlap with Public is that they just both deal with markets, but they're actually even dealing with different markets. This is for futures. Public doesn't offer futures, and Public's also not sim funded. So they're very, very like I said, the only overlap is that they happen to deal with markets, but they're not even dealing with the same markets. If that makes sense, if that's what you're even asking, I might have missed the first part of it. Tesla's trying to hold green. Oh, Nvidia is getting hit. Semiconductors are getting rocked this morning. All right. So the next thing in the very, very short term is this 10 a.m. report. Probably worthwhile to pay attention to that. I see semiconductors got hit pretty hard this morning. Nvidia down 4.8%. Tesla's somehow in the green. So Tesla popped, came down a little bit, but still holding green. Microsoft's also in the green. Coinbase is getting beat up, down 3%. Apple's down 1.3%. Meta's in the green. So the three things. Tesla, Meta, and Microsoft. Not in that order. Microsoft's actually up the most this morning. Microsoft's actually looking pretty freaking decent. Meta's not far behind. So Meta and Microsoft trying to keep the Qs alive right here. Rum down 5 cents. DJT down 2.7%. Netflix down 0.5%, not much. Amazon. Oil is taking a big hit. Oil. What in the world happened in the world of oil? Oil's vomiting. Holy crap. Next support right around 69. Bonds are going up. Yeah, dollars dropping. That makes sense. Boeing is getting murked. Oh, right here. This is when we were talking about of how the perfect play on Boeing was a short on Thursday, the August 20th. That would have been it had you taken it, obviously, with the benefit of hindsight bias. Had you taken that, that would have been a beautiful play. Pan W is in the green. Obviously, Pelosi doesn't miss. Classic, almost a weird cup and shoulder, but Palo Alto looking pretty decent. Yeah, this is getting bad. The USD JPY. Golly, mi amigo. Where are we? We're still in this range. I know that T-Row manager who predicted yen shock sees another one coming. Scapegoating of yen carry trade ignores bigger, deeper trend. BOJ hikes and impact on global capital. Far from simple. With respect to earnings, after the market closes today, we have GitLab. Tomorrow, Dick's Sporting Goods, Dollar Tree. After close, C3 AI. This is all for tomorrow, Wednesday. On Thursday, Neo, Broadcom. So that's going to be another big semiconductor play, Broadcom, after the market closes on Thursday. And that's pretty much it. We're kind of now done with the earnings season. So after this, there's still going to be a couple. But in terms of those like big major ones that a lot of people like to pay attention to, we're going to be on a couple week break. And then we're going to come back to a whole new earnings season. Here's the newsletter. Don't forget to sign up for it. I do want to let you know the seasonality of today, a little bit more neutral. It started off bullish, gave it back, starting to bounce, but no clear trend. So when it's neutral, that doesn't mean the individual day is choppy. It just means to not use seasonality to color your bias on the day. Wednesday, as in tomorrow, a little bit more bullish. Thursday, a little bit more bearish, and Friday, a little bit more neutral. Like I showed you, the overall seasonality for September, at least the first third of it, is pretty choppy. So don't be surprised if from day to day, we're going from bullish to bearish to bullish to bearish. It's just kind of netting out to about zero. I do want to remind you that the prices went up last night. And for the Discord, for those of you who want to be in the Goonie Trading Discord, the prices went up last night. And then I had 16, 17 emails of very angry people this morning. I don't know what to do because I told you it was going to go up at midnight, but I felt bad because if it was like 2 or 3 or 4 people, I've been like, well, they should have just listened because I did tell you guys for weeks. But when there were so many, I was like, okay, is this like a me problem? Did I not explain it well? Or did people forget with the holiday? So instead of being midnight last night, it is noon today. I am not moving it past noon. If you want to take advantage of the free month, which all you have to do is put in this promo code Goonie and then get grandfathered into whatever your deal is, whether it's the monthly at 50 or the annual at 500. If you want to get grandfathered into one of those 2 deals, whatever deal it is, you have to have it done by noon today. Noon today. That's it. I'm not moving it past that. It was supposed to be midnight. I hate when people do the marketing thing and they keep moving it and moving it and moving it. Like I said, I was like, well, maybe this one's a me problem, which is fair. I mean, I mess up a lot of things in my life. So I'm giving you till noon. You have literally 2 hours. 2 hours. Here, I'll pin it to the top of chat so you guys can find it. But this is it. I'm not moving it past this. If you have, as long as you're signed up as a supporter, you're going to be,
Order submit. Target filled.
Target filled. Target filled. Target filled. All right, we're doing this. All right, I'm pinning this just so you guys can do it. So as long as you're a supporter, even if you're like, dude, I'm having issues getting connected, that's all right. As long as you're signed up as a supporter, you're already locked in. If you're having technical issues, like let's just say the database doesn't update by noon, which I can manually update it now if you guys want, you're good. You don't have to panic. You don't have to freak out or anything like that. As long as you're in locals as a supporter, which you can do by just signing up here. Remember, add this right here, Goonie, Goonie, hit apply, hit subscribe. You can also check out annual, whichever one is better for you. Obviously, annual, you get a little bit more of a deal. You're going to save on 2 months. But as long as you have right here, Goonie, as long as that's in there, your first month is free. So it's no risk to you. You try it out for your month. If you like it, great. Stick around. Your grandfather it into your current monthly plan. If it's not for you, just cancel your account within the first month and never cost you anything anyway. So this is a truly riskless thing. And I thought I explained it well, but I guess people got mad at me. I'm sorry. I probably could have explained it better. So because of that, I'm now giving you an extra 2 hours. 2 hours. That's it. That's it. And I'm not moving it past that. All right. If there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it in real time. Whoa. The Qs are breaking down here. The Qs are looking a little bit suspect, brother. Looking a little bit suspect there, brother. Well, this is just pure selling right out of the gate. It's slowing down a little bit. Oh, look at that. Right here. You could see it perfectly. Someone exactly at 9:53. What did they do? Someone sold a bunch of calls and bought a couple of puts, but longer dated calls, that's this big drop in the orange candle. A bunch of longer dated calls were sold, which actually means that the positive gamma is not going to be so positive. That's going to cause the gamma to tilt a little bit more negative. So we might not be in this zone of stability for that much longer. Where is that? The Qs are coming up to an important test zone. The SPY, I guess, as well, down here at 557. The Russell as well, I guess, watch 217. Bitcoin, even look itself, maybe watch 57. Nvidia is breaking down. Failed breakout attempt, lower highs, lower lows, breaking down below the 50 EMA. In the short term, the bears are in control of Nvidia. I want to be clear. Long term, I'm still very bullish on Nvidia. Tesla's holding, not much of a movement. Coinbase clearly breaking down. Got smacked, came back up to its equilibrium point. All of these EMAs then getting hit pretty hard. Lower highs, lower lows. Microsoft actually putting in a higher low and maybe trying to retest this 425 breakout level. Apple taking a bit of a breather, but overall still the bulls in control. Meta's not really doing anything sideways. Rum trying to save itself at 560. DJT continually getting hit. I think people are worried that Trump might be just kind of stepping away from it. And we also know he could sell now. So that one, it's tough unless you know specifically what he's doing. But I believe that's the market's fear. Netflix looking just like the SPY, popped all the way up. Now just sideways chop, not much of a move. Amazon looking like Microsoft, putting in a higher low, wondering if it can recapture 180. Oil, as discussed, is getting its face kicked in. This is just getting really, really smacked. TLT, bonds are looking good. Texas Roadhouse, flat, holding near its all-time high. Boeing getting demolished today, absolutely demolished. PanW looking good, trying to follow through on that cup and handle. Broadcom looking a bit weak, looking just like the Qs, honestly. This one's a tough play right now just because they do have their earnings after the market closes on Thursday. So if you play it here, it's kind of a 50-50 bet of just, are you going to get the market's reaction to earnings? Like, are you going to get that properly? So be a little bit careful about that. ASML still putting in these lower highs, these lower lows. In fact, actually maybe even potentially breaking down a little bit. USD, JPY pairing still showing weakness. Vomited, bounced, vomited. Put in a higher low. People got excited about that. Popped up, but now we're putting in a lower high. So we're consolidating at a very, very low level. All right. Where are we at here? A little bit of a bounce coming in. What do we have in the options market? Not much. Price is bouncing, but equities aren't. The index. Okay, so there's aggressive. There's zero DTE bullish aggression coming into the index. We're not seeing it on the equities, but the actual index is starting to bounce. And then the Mag 7 also flat. So equities and Mag 7 flat, not really moving after getting hit, but the index is starting to see some bets, and the green bars are specifically the 0DT. So some people are actively buying this dip right here. We know 558 is a very important support. So then the argument is like, is it going to hold or not? I've never come across a way that is that good at predicting whether support does or doesn't hold, whether resistance does or doesn't hold. It's more of just watch, just look for the reaction. Obviously, if you buy at 558 and you think it's going to hold, well, 50-50, but it's more of, even if you're 50-50, you can still be profitable because of the risk reward. Even if you have 50-50, like you're right half the time, wrong half the time, but you have a much bigger reward than you do risk, in the long term, that's a net profitable trading strategy. I know a lot of people get hell-bent on trying to focus. Okay, what was that? Oh, the manufacturing numbers just came out. I guess they weren't that good.
Order target filled.
Whoa. All right, we made some money. And then I still have one. This is my final position right here. And then I'm going to be done.
Target filled.
Bada bing, bada boom. Read them and weep, folks. Read them and weep. 250 all the way down to 150 on all 20 accounts. Not a bad day to be me. What would it average out? 200 at 20 accounts. So that's about 4K locked in. And as I always do with all of you, I know this is annoying. I know this is repetitive, but I feel so confident this will legitimately make you money. When you hit your trade on Apex, when you're doing any form of sim to fund it doesn't even have to be Apex, but let's just say Apex like is yours. When it hits, my biggest tip that's going to turn you wherever you're at in your trading career to at least better. I'm not promising profitable, but I'm saying wherever you're at, this will be a clear improvement. Be disciplined enough to just shut it down. When your trades hit and when you're done, the biggest thing that I've noticed about that sim to funded type of trading is it's so leveraged, and you could trade so many accounts, and there's so many contracts, and futures themselves are highly leveraged that you make a quick $200 and you're like, oh, that was easy. I might as well make another 200. And unfortunately, it is easy. So you make another 200, and then you make another 200, and then you make a 500. And you're like, oh, it's so easy. So you keep doing it to the point that unfortunately you end up severely over trading. And when you end up severely over trading, that's when you end up getting into one of the situations that ends up blowing out your account. And that's what you're trying to avoid. And the best way I've personally found to avoid it is by literally just, I get my trade in, I hopefully hit it, I either do or I don't, and I take my money, I say, peace, I'll see you tomorrow. And then hopefully the accounts are growing slowly but surely. This is always like the tortoise versus the hare type of a thing. They want to grow in the manner of a tortoise to the point that you get to the payout period, you get your money, and you move on with your life. You request it. And speaking of that, I did get approved. Over the weekend, I think the last time we talked was on Friday, and I told you, oh, they have to decide by today. I'm referring to Apex. My accounts were approved, so I got approved for $9.5 thousand, which will be, so it's already approved, and it'll be sent to my bank account this week. So positive news there. Positive news. I can confirm that, Matt. Last week I went from plus 1,100 in a day to blown account in the next hour. That's what I'm not saying it as like a preachy thing. I'm saying it as a person who I've done it a million times to myself. And then all of a sudden, when you start to review your trades and you start to see like the common issue, which is generally the person in the mirror, I'm like, oh, why am I always doing well in the morning, my first one or two trades, and then all of a sudden by the end of the day, like similar to your example, I kept going, and then like I'm blowing them out. It doesn't make sense. Like, why is there like seemingly two different phases, like a clear early phase of success followed by an unfortunate phase of failure? And then in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, well, if this is truly statistically viable, like if this is actually accurate, like if the data I'm seeing is right, as in my phase one is good and my phase two is bad, just cut out phase two. Just say, bye, see you later. So that's how I kind of viewed it. And I just hope someone in here, maybe that resonates with you. If you're kind of noticing you start out of the gate strong, and then by the end of the day, it's like horrible. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you just need to kill it, move on with your life, and just go. Just move and move and move. And when I consciously made that switch in like March, that's exactly when I had more success on Apex. which for those of you who don't know about it, it's sim to fund. And basically you pay to take a test. If you pass the evaluation, then you can get funded from them. And then it's for futures trading, and you can trade futures with their money. I like it just because trading, like many things in life, is just risk reward. So when you're minimizing risk, which it is, because the risk is just what you paid for the eval and the account upgrade. You're not risking any of your own money. Your risk is perfectly capped. So in a secondary level, you have your own built-in stop loss. The stop loss is just literally what you paid because you're not betting your own money. And then the reward is potentially like just unbounded. So when you consider it from purely a risk reward opportunity, I like it. And the trade-off with that is the rules aren't the easiest rules. So when you're being given such a solid opportunity with respect to risk reward, there has to be a trade-off or a quote unquote a catch somewhere. And in this particular circumstance, it would just be the rules are not the easiest rules. Like there's pretty stringent, tough rules. But that's what happens. If you want to trade with someone else's capital, of course, they're going to make a lot of stringent, tough rules. So I don't think that is the biggest thing. And for me, already before this, and now it's even better. I mean, I've showed you guys in videos. I'm happy to show you screenshots if you're like, dude, I need to see it to believe it. But this calendar year alone, I've been paid out over $100,000 from Apex. And in terms, so that's the gross profit. The net profit, well, okay, the net profit, and I've been including it with taxes, is just over 50%, but the net profit not counting taxes, like just taking away my fees, is probably about 75%, so about just over 75K. Whenever I thought about net profit, this is the first time I thought about it without taxes. Like I'm always just thinking about the tax burden at the end of the year, because obviously you have to pay taxes on your income stuff. So yeah, the gross profit, just over 100K. The net at the end of it, after my bills and taxes and everything, probably between 50 and 60. And then not counting taxes, just the net profit on the actual fees for the evals and the software and everything. It's probably 75 to 80 if I had to guess, in that roughly in that realm. I don't know the exact numbers. These are just, I guess, ballpark numbers at this point. Roughly in there. Sucks being poor. I was that for a long time. Now I'm rich because I saw through the BS and got smart. I guess it good, man. That's a positive trend. I'm happy for you. Happy for you. All right, shout out to Prophet. He's always the man with the data. ISM manufacturing PMI came in at 47.2. The expectation was 47.5. So unfortunately, manufacturing coming in less than expected. Manufacturing prices 54, expected 52.1. US ISM manufacturing new orders index actual 44.6 versus 47.6. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good. All right. So the manufacturing numbers that we got at 10 a.m. are, they're leaving a little bit to be desired. Very quickly, I need to put Piper in. Which for those of you who don't know about Piper is not only my cat, which went missing this weekend. Hang on, let me just load up the Piper strategy to the Discord, and then I can explain how I almost went on a rampage, an absolute rampage of a situation. All right, September. Today's the 3rd, right? Okay, Piper's in there. I've done my Apex trades, but I haven't done any of my own options trades. Should I? I might need to fire off my own trade here in a second. What positions do I have? Ooh, why do I have so many positions on right now? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Interesting. That was kind of a vomit out of nowhere. Things are slowing down. Hang on, I'm seeing these options dump. Interesting. I might wait on my own trade for a second. Just let things really breathe, let them breathe and open up. All right. So what happened with Piper? So this weekend I went to my family house near the Delaware River. And whenever we go, we bring Piper. Piper likes to get some time out of the city herself. She likes to go outside, run around, climb trees, do cat stuff. And Piper has now gotten to the point where she realizes when we're leaving. She notices when we're packing up. Like she sees the bags together, and whenever she just doesn't like being in cars. I don't know why. I guess she's a cat and she's jealous that she doesn't know how to drive. Whatever it may be, she notices that we're packing and she leaves. And as we bring her more and more to my family home, she explores more and more. Confident. We leave the doors open. She just does what she wants. We live in the middle of nowhere. Cats are being cats, and she goes out, explores, chases hummingbirds. I don't know, finds bugs and snakes and crap like that. And so the doors were open, and we were packing up in the morning on Monday. And we're like, all right, cool. Where's the cat? And we couldn't find her. We couldn't find her at all. And we're like, oh, dude, she saw that we were packing bags. And usually the doors are shut. So when we can't find her, we at least know she's in the house. And then you're looking under the furniture, this, that, the other thing, which was true. But also all the doors were open because it was a nice end of summer kind of day. So the cat could have been anywhere. And I live in the middle of nowhere, folks. That's where my family home was. So they're just fields. You just go outside and you're like, where's the cat? So not only are we searching everywhere in the house, now we're searching, I guess, we're just walking around, and I have her toys. I'm calling her, and I know she's just hiding because she doesn't want to go. She's just being a petulant little child. So I sit there, and folks, I would have burned half the county down. Like I was ready to go. I don't know why I was just so angry. I suppose I was angry at myself, and because my emotional maturity is stunted, I just didn't properly know how to handle the situation. So I was just sitting there, and I was just angry, and I just didn't know what to do. And I just my knee-jerk reaction was just burn the town down, like get answers. Like I felt like someone stole her from me, even though that didn't happen at all. Like it was clearly my fault, but I just felt like I was supposed to go on a rampage. And I'm going around, and this is like 2 hours into it. And I'm searching in the house, I'm searching around the house, outside of the house, and I have her toys. And I was like, well, hang on, let's think about this. Let's really, really think about this. If she is hiding because she doesn't want to go home, she's not going to come out of hiding unless she thinks I'm not looking for her. So inherently, I was my own worst enemy because it was me searching for her that caused her to be hiding from me. So I was like, okay, as much as it doesn't make sense, I think maybe like trading, less is more. Maybe less is more. I like that. Maybe that's the answer. So I sat there. And now at that point, I'm just Googling how to find lost cat. I'm looking up cat tracking collars. I'm looking up tattoos so I could get them on my body for my cat. I'm sitting there and I'm trying to just not be antsy and moving around. And then I didn't have the discipline for that. About 30 minutes into it, I was like, nah, dude, I'm just going to go find my cat. So I was like, okay. So I took a big walk around outside, and then I came back inside. And I was like, maybe she's in here. I don't know. And when you're searching for things, you start to just throw Hail Marys, just absolute Hail Marys of, I guess, places to search, and it's just not looking. And there's this one storage room that has all this stuff in it, boxes, Christmas trees, an old pool table. And I was like, okay, this feels like if a cat's inside, it feels like it's a good spot. So I'm getting down to look under the pool table. And I don't know what brand of pool table this is, but when I was bending down, I could see the pockets of the pool table, where the pool balls go. And I saw something flicker. And I was like, oh, wow, a mouse is in here. That sucks. My mom's pool table is going to get ruined because there's mice in here. That's horrible. And then I saw something flicker again. And I was like, oh, that mouse is crazy. And then I really looked at it. I was like, man, that mouse looks like cat ears. And for those of you who don't know about mice don't generally look like cat ears. And then I realized Piper was in fact not hiding outside. She was not fighting local dogs. She was not in a tree. She was not in grass or hay. She was in the pool table for hours. Piper, apparently the new leader of, I don't know, just hide and seek, found her hiding spot within a pool table that I only randomly saw because her ear flickered as I was like bending down to look under the pool table. So after a couple hours of, like I said, panic and anxiety and the need to like just burn something down, it turns out she was in the pool table the whole time. And then we found her, put her in the car, and surprise, surprise, there was no issue. She just fell asleep and we came home, and that was that. So I had a stern talking with her. Obviously, I was like, hey, we don't actually do that. We don't scare other people within the family. And I don't think it really resonated with her because at 4 a.m, she was already attacking my feet again. So that was very much less than ideal. Very much less than ideal. But I don't know. The weekend was all good until that point. It was very much all good until that point. Dude, this is just a systematic sell-off. SPX 5575. Remember, we're starting to actually get to where founders notes. Some negative gamma. So the 0 gamma level on SPX is 5573, which, surprise, surprise, guess where we just bounced? 5573 was literally that low, 5573.15. So the run, we were in quite a bit of positive gamma, but we literally just vomited right to the 0 gamma level, which just shows you how much of an influence options has. So at this point, it could break either way. We no longer have the market makers of options, I guess, keeping it within its bounds. They're at a neutral point where they kind of don't care. And if it starts to fall, they might speed it up. And then if SPX can't hold 5,550, it can actually get bad below that. But once again, just basing it off of where we're going from positive to negative gamma. There's also a vol trigger at 5620, gamma strike, call wall, put wall. All right, we're super far away from that. The implied day's move is 0.56%. Golly. What a weird 5.5. This might just be the next target. The gamma exposure right here, profile for September 3rd. Estimated dealer exposure, yeah, obviously 5,000. So we were in this and we're breaking up the other way. Interesting. Is this just going to keep going? Jesus Louises. Golly, they're really just selling this. How bad is the options getting here? Let me show you the options profile in real time. It is options. The index is just getting dumped on. Equities are just puking. Mag 7. Jeez. All right, let me look at something here. What do I want to look at? What levels do I like? Haven't done anything yet just because I didn't want to chase. I wanted to wait for some sort of, I don't know, I guess in my opinion, reasonable risk reward, and I didn't want to chase it to the downside. I don't feel the most comfortable with going bullish today. Maybe patience. Maybe patience is the major thing that I need. Where's the tarot card app? That's a good question. Apparently, I completely forgot it, would be the direct answer. The direct answer is 100% forgot it. Intel facing delisting from Dow index as stock sinks. Intel was in the Dow. Interesting. That would not be good. I feel like Intel, ever since it had that public breakup with Apple a couple of years ago, has really had just like a rough run of it. I mean, it was in the hot sector, semiconductors, for the past couple of years, and it just is not doing well. It's not doing well. I see a couple people saying that they're having a tough time getting connected to the Discord that just signed up this morning. Most likely the database hasn't updated. I could update it like right after the show. You'll be, as long as you're a supporter, as long as you're on Locals as a supporter today, you're good. Being good or not is not, did you fully establish the connection to the Discord? I can manually help you with that. Reach out to me, MMK147 on Discord, media@MatthewKors.com. If you want to email me, DM me on Twitter, Matt_Kors. But just to be, if you want to be like, hey man, am I grandfathered in? All you have to do is make sure you're a supporter on Locals. There's two options. You could be a member or you could be a supporter. A supporter is what you need to have access to the Discord. So as long as you're a supporter, in the next hour and 40 minutes, you are good to go. Good to go. And with that being said, let's ask these tarot cards what in the world our life holds. 3, 2, 1. All right. This is the first one of a whole new week and a whole new month, folks. I feel like this tarot card is going to really be setting the scene. Really be setting the scene. Whoa. I don't think we've gotten this one yet. The Knight of Swords. Feels like we're in for a fight. When I see such a regal looking cat like that, and it's the Knight of Swords, feels like we're in for quite a battle. That's my knee-jerk reaction, which is probably right because I am also an expert tarot card trader. The Knight of Swords, folks. The Knight of Swords. All right, let's see what that one's all about. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords uses a sharp wit to win arguments and force change. They are fearless and fast-moving, the signal part of you that wants to get things done. They represent a dynamic person whose news ideas broaden your horizons. This card also signifies the impulse to shake things up, travel, and succeed. Action, determination, change. Whoa. One of the words there is change. So little interesante, mi amigo. A little interesante on that card. I haven't changed any of my, for those of you who are curious, if you're in the Discord, I haven't changed my swing trades at all. The only thing I've done today thus far is my Apex accounts, just because you could have argued maybe a short position on this breakdown, but you're also shorting at the intraday low. I don't mind the risk, and this one would have paid. It was a little dramatic because we were just past that 10 a.m. announcement. So because of that, I really haven't done anything. And yes, obviously the Bears are in control. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, even the 4 hour now breaking down. The 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 30 minute, the 4 hour breaking down. They're in control. It's just I haven't seen the best opportunity to join this breakdown at 9:45. Not only are you chasing the intraday low, it was a little early for me, especially knowing about the 10 a.m. announcement. And then at 10 a.m., we happen to be at the low end of the day and just broke down. So even though the Bears have been in control, I mean, you could have taken the 50-50 risk of just getting in right at market open, and that would have paid, obviously, very, very nicely. But for me, I haven't seen an optimal risk to reward. Like, it's just, sometimes that happens. Sometimes the market moves without you, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. You're not going to get in on everything. All right, what do we have here? Let me just make sure there's no breaking news. Citadel Securities, Jane Street on track for record revenue haul. Two of the largest market-making firms in the U.S. are encroaching further on big banks' trading territory. New Argentinian currency launched to offset Malaysia's shock therapy. Shorts hit AI beneficiaries. Short sellers are circling some of AI's boom's biggest question marks. We are separating the winners from the losers. Kamala Harris has energized Democrats so much that they think they can win the South. I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Wall Street strategists face their own short squeeze. Can Harris's housing plan win over swing states? The U.S. drafts sanctions against Venezuelans over disputed vote. Okay. Not the biggest thing that I'm seeing. Dow tumbles more than 400 points to start September trading as slowdown fear pick up again. Well, with the unemployment coming out Friday, these new manufacturing numbers, and the looming FOMC decision, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. U.S. crude oil falls more than 3%, erases 2024 gains as China demand OPEC output hike loom. What? Manufacturing in China, meanwhile, fell to a 6-month low in August. So just the fact that manufacturing demand in China is down means they don't need as much oil. So with lack of demand, prices are going to go down. OPEC delegates have indicated that the producers group is still planning to increase oil output in October. So they're making more and there's less global demand. So prices are falling. I don't really fully understand it because I'm reading about all the things that are currently going down in Libya. And if that has an impact on the supply chain or even the production, feels like that could actually spike prices up. So I don't know. That one looks a little bit problematic. Problematic if you were to ask me, but hey, what do I know? What do I know? A little bit of buying coming in, but we just hit an intraday low at 10.15. Here's a look at the options market. The Mag 7, and right here you can see it bouncing a little bit right at that 10.20 mark. Some bullishness. If we look generically at the equities, same thing. Sold hard, but maybe bottoming out here at 10.20. And then just for the index itself, in real time, as we're chit-chatting about it, we're seeing a bit of a spike. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm wondering if people are going to be playing off this bounce. Do I want to be one of those people? Today's the 3rd, right? Oh, brother, where are we? Where are we? All right, I slapped in an order. Here, I'm going to take a quick screenshot and throw this into the Discord. All right, so I think I'm pretty much done on the day now. The only thing I really have to consider about is the fact that my hair looks crazy. But here, I'm slapping in my trade. Where are you guys? Thick trades. Loading this one in. All right, we're doing that. Switching things up a little bit. Seeing how it goes, how it does or doesn't go. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, all pretty freaking bearish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, all pretty freaking bearish. We're going to see how this really goes. Anything else here? I'm just curious. Ooh, nope. They started selling these again. Son of a gun. They really started selling those again. Look at that. As soon as options started to dip, look how extreme the price reacted to it. Very extreme. Well, let's see how it shakes out. I don't think it's the most absurd thing to think that there could be a little bit of mean reversion. And then in my opinion, the way to look at it at that point is how high is the next high? If it's right here, yes, so obviously bearish. But if we come up, it might be a lower high and we could play it off of that. Or what if it's a nice bounce? But anyway, it just seems like this is a pretty extreme move to the downside. And sometimes this is just systematically walked down and down and down and down. And of course that could happen. But I'm just wondering if there's going to be at least a retest of 558, 559, or maybe the Q's retest like 471. looks like it's not. Looks like we're still getting a little bit smoked here, but time will tell. I just see the extreme nature of the selling was taking a breather, but right here, equity is getting smacked pretty hard again. We have the Mag 7 getting hit pretty hard again. We'll see. Time. Don't forget, you have until noon today. You have an hour and a half. Prices are going up. It was going up last night. A lot of people got mad at me. At noon o'clock today, in 90 minutes, prices are going up. So if you want to get locked in for your free month to test drive it, you can lock it in right now. You'll be grandfathered in at whatever plan you select, whether monthly or annual. The free month is under monthly if you just put in this promo code Goonie. Just come here. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Add the promo code Goonie and then apply it. Make sure you hit apply. Some people have forgot to do that part of it. Make sure it is applied. That's how you get the free month. If you like it after the free month, great. Just hang out there. Great. You're grandfathered into the price. If it's not for you, just make sure to cancel your account within the first month and you're never going to get charged anything. This is a riskless way for you to not join not only locals as a supporter, but to get into the Discord where you get my trades, the Piper signal, the salad bar signal, access to all the previous lectures, access to the voice chat with everyone trading throughout the day. We just started a fantasy league, or we're going to be starting a fantasy league today if you have any interest in that. Just a lot of cool stuff going on. But basically, it's a community of people who are all just trying to trade together and make sense of this wild puzzle we call the stock market. So if that sounds good to you, or at least interesting to you, this is probably the time. Like this is, I don't know, in 90 minutes, prices are going up. So you might as well try to get grandfathered in when it costs you nothing, because the first month is free anyway. So highly recommend checking out, pinned at the top of chat in the description of the video. But if you have any interest in it, it wouldn't make really sense to do it later because prices are going up. So just want to let you guys to know about that if anyone's interested in taking advantage of it. But let's see how this plays out today. All right. What do we have here? A couple people are DMing me. I will get back to you as soon as I can. As soon as I can, I'll answer you guys after stream and whatnot. What else do we have going on? Why is my hair so messed up? I think with the long weekends, you guys always send in a bunch of reacts, and I really appreciate it. So I don't want to be disrespectful about those. So let's do some of these reacts. Let's see what you guys found. What made you guys laugh or go, huh, or angry? The fact that this is happening is effing insane. Listen closely as she explains what is happening in Chicago.
No, $15,000 in food stamps and $5,000 cash money.
$20K?
Every month they're getting that. Yes, and they're getting
$20K a month?
6 months free rent. But this was the first time I heard about it. Now I've heard it's 2 years free rent, getting Section 8. First, prioritized before the citizens.
Wow. So the Venezuelan migrants that are coming in here, they are getting 6 months free rent, 15.
I think we need a little bit of a fact check on this, but if it's real, holy crap. Holy crap.
$5,000.
Cash.
Oh my goodness. How do the people in Chicago feel about that?
Well, people are angry because there's a lot of people, that need help with Medicaid and food stamps, and they get rejected. No,
if that's true, I think that's obviously we're breaking down a little bit here. We're breaking down a little bit. Hang on, I want to double check. Oh yeah, Mag 7 getting hit. Equities getting hit. Jeez, dude. What a day. What a start to the week. I don't know if this is real. If it is, that's absolutely insane. So I kind of want to fact check it myself, but wow. What do we have here? It's time to move to Texas, brother. What's going on? What we have Bert Kreischer at Rite Aid?
This is Los Angeles.
An LA Rite Aid.
Is gone.
Just empty.
Look at this. This is our deodorants, I think. This place is going, this looks like it's been looted, and I guess thieves just come in and take whatever's expensive and just fucking walk out with it. This is crazy.
That's so sad.
This is unrecognizable. When I moved to Los Angeles, you'd come into Rite Aid and you'd spend the fucking afternoon. looking around. This is so fucking sad.
Yeah.
This is Los Angeles.
It's so messed up, the world that we're currently in, that is possibly allowed. Canadian voter confronts Trudeau over jobs and healthcare. I don't believe you for a second. Oh, I love when this dude gets called out right to his face, because he always just he kind of pretends he's not getting called out, which is the funniest part.
We got donuts over here if you want to thank you for your hard work.
I can bring some for my kids here.
Okay. The 25% tariffs we just brought in on Chinese skills
Yeah,
to help you out.
that's going to keep my job, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
your job.
What about
the $400
40% taxes I'm paying, and I don't have a doctor?
The $400 million that we invested in the card means you're going to have a job for
I think you're only here for another year. We won't see you around probably another year.
Well, that's what elections are for.
That's right, that's right.
And I look
How
forward
does
to
he
everyone
keep getting
exercising the right to
reelected?
vote. Yep. Basic choice. We're going to invest in you and your jobs.
I don't believe you for a second.
Dental care? Do you know anyone who got dental care?
Yeah, I pay for it myself.
Okay.
We're like 3 years
You have
behind.
a job and coverage?
Yeah,
but we
four
got
people in my
seniors.
family.
We've got
Every time
seniors.
we go for a dental visit, it's costing me about $50 in my pocket per person.
Okay.
Why? I have a good job. You're not really doing anything for us, Justin.
Well, actually, we just invested so 500,000 people who haven't been to the dentist got to go to the dentist over the past few months.
Probably like my neighbor that doesn't go to work because she's lazy.
Well,
She
you know
just
what?
doesn't go to work. She lives the same
Most
life I do.
Canadians try to stick up for each other, and that's what we're going to keep doing.
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
luck and take care of your family, sir.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Have a good day, sir. All right, the other guys they got the donuts. Excellent.
The guy's such a smug ass. I really don't know how Trudeau keeps getting reelected. I don't get it. I haven't met a person who likes him, and yet he keeps getting votes somehow. So I guess it's just a different world. New NYPD make their first arrest using the new mask ban in Nassau County. Turns out he planned an armed robbery. It gets better. He's an illegal alien. What?
Say this man arrested on Spindle Road in Hicksville on Sunday is a teenager. 18-year-old Weslin Omar Ramirez Castillo of Hicksville was approached by police after they say they received reports of a suspicious man walking. Well, they found him wearing this mask and noticed a large bulge in his waistband, which they say was this 14-inch knife. Ramirez Castillo was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon. And for the first time in Nassau County, he was charged with Title 90 Mass Transparency Act. The teen was arraigned on Monday.
He's born in Guatemala. He entered the country illegally in 2019 over in Texas. ICE has been notified on this individual. He has loose ties to gang affiliations.
Nassau Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder and County Executive Bruce Blakeman touting the arrest as a win.
And it's another tool in the toolbox for our police department. We averted a crime. Somebody could have been stabbed as a result of this.
What is this world coming to, man? It feels like everything's just getting amped up. Literally the same thing.
What are two clips that give off the same energy?
So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around.
You know, back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antone. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patio. I made some crab apples. For dessert now, yeah? Hey, yeah! Ha!
What are two clips that...
They do give off the same energy. Guess life imitates art. Voting for Kamala doesn't mean I'm stupid. No. Obviously, it's a skit, but that's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right. Is the market still dying? Kinda. Just made a fresh low. Just made a fresh low. All right. All right. Let's see how this is going to go today, folks. SPY, Q's, clearly just systematically being sold, just walking down, got worse at 10 with the manufacturing numbers. The SPY and the Qs are just hanging out at their intraday low. The 5-minute not looking so good. The 10-minute not looking so good. The 30-minute breaking down. Wow. That's a big breakdown. Yeah, right here. That's also breaking. Jesus. Getting smoked. Getting smoked. Well, let's see. Let's see how much more it has in it. That is brutal. Here's a look at the S&P 500 index options. They're kind of going flat. Equities are actually at the intraday low. The Mag 7 also at the intraday low. So you have tech, seems to also be specific to semiconductors, getting sold pretty freaking hard. I'm a guy playing a dude disguised as another dude. Dude, that movie's honestly one of the funniest movies we've ever made. Just by far one of the funniest ones. Where do you pin your trades? Look in the Discord. There's this giant thing called Discord Guide. Read the guide. Everything you're gonna need to know to get rocking is in the Discord Guide, which is why it's the aptly named Discord Guide. It guides you while in the Discord. It's cool how we have things like that. Yeah, dude, look how much these are. It got did someone front run the manufacturing numbers? Because this big drop in options came at 953, and then the bad manufacturing numbers came out at 10. Ooh. Also, we're seeing energy. Here's a quick little look at the heat map of what's causing everything to go nuts. Energy, super red. Semiconductors, super red. Even comm, red. Yeah. Industrials, red. The only thing kind of green is healthcare. Healthcare is a bit green. Some software stuff. But semiconductors getting destroyed, energy getting destroyed, and financials not doing enough to kind of counteract it. If anything, still probably like overall net red. So this is clearly a bearish day, which I don't think I need to tell you guys. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute. I'm just wondering if we're going to get a little bit of reversion out of here, because it does seem, I know some of you guys are big VWAP traders. We've just been below the VWAP for freaking ever here. The volume weighted average price. So the average market participant is in today at 558.46, and we're trading $2 below that. For the Qs, they're in at 470.45, and we're trading at 467.34. So, I mean, we're even outside of, what's this, the 2 standard deviation band? Band multiplier, 1 standard deviation band. What's the 2 look like? We were almost out at the 2. We were tapping the 2. Little tapping. But in terms of, like, this is quite a bit outside of, so I wouldn't chase it, I guess, is my long-winded explanation of healthcare is green because Trudeau bought donuts. That tracks. I believe it. Jim Walls, you leave those stud horses alone. So savage. That whole horse thing, it's so wild. The fact that like everyone just ran with that story so quickly. So absolutely nuts. All right. Yeah, there's the heat map. What else do we have going on? I think I might have messed up. I think you guys sent in more thing. Oh, here's a couple more things. This guy taught his bird to say, vote for Trump. What? Dude, I don't know. Are birds even real? I feel like at this point, that's still a question that we don't really have a solid, definitive answer to. We still don't have an answer to it. Are they real? Are they not real? Disney executive meeting after they got the reviews for Star Wars, The Acolyte, and it bombed.
Hey, sir, another one of our shows bombed. All right. Wait, are you not upset? No, why would I? This happens every week. Hey, Scott, you remember the protocol? I do. So we turned off the comment section on all social media posts. We released 24 fake news articles saying that it was the greatest thing mankind's ever created, and bribed 12,000 movie critics to give it a generous 10 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's make that an 8 out of 10. We gotta make sure people somewhat believe it. Got it. Wait, but sir, what about the 100,000 audience reviews that says the show sucks massive horse c***? Well, the critics say it's really good, so why would that matter? Right, but you literally just paid them to say that. And I pay you to shut the f*** up, so let's do that. Anyways, guys, now we need someone to blame for this terrible f***ing show other than ourselves. Does anyone have any thoughts? The producer, the writers, George Lucas. Hey, keep George out of your f***ing mouth. Well, we could try gaslighting the public. That usually works. Okay, explain. Well, since we obviously don't make bad shows, because we decide what's bad or not our stupid audience, right? Let's just blame it on the fans. Wait, what? Okay, so just tell everyone they're too stupid to realize how good it is, and then immediately fire back at anyone that has a remotely different opinion? Yep, exactly. And then we could say the reason people do hate it is because we have a ethnically diverse lead. Yes, that's good. Calling people racist is always how you should deal with criticism, even though it doesn't actually address the real core issues at play. No, actually the main criticism of the show is that it just sucks dick. No, that's just a small minority of people, Kyle. There's actually a huge silent majority that absolutely loves this show. What? Who? Who are these people that are silently liking the show? I don't know, Kyle. They're silent. No one knows who they are because of how unbelievably quiet they are. Okay, then so how do you even know that they f***ing exist? Because all the fake news articles we paid people to write say they do. Okay, that's it. This company's burning to the ground, and I don't want to be here when it f***ing does. I'm getting out of here. No, wait, Kyle, wait. Okay, so anyone know how we can make that $200 million back that just went down the drain? We can make a bunch of movie sequels and remakes that absolutely no one asked for. Let's make some money.
Toy Story 5, Moana 2, Encanto 2, Frozen 3, Frozen 4, Cars 4, Incredibles 3, Zootopia 2. I'm not here to show for Disney, but I'm ready for Zootopia 2. I hope they don't mess it up, and they probably will. But Zootopia, the first one, crushed it. Zootopia slapped, man. I assume they're going to mess it up, but if they don't, I'm ready. Your boy's ready for Zootopia 2. Interesting, rates aren't high enough.
Today is day 1 of SMU Rush. Love it so much. My skirt is from a boutique.
You guys know I love SMU Rush. This is my Olympics. The skirt, I found it on Amazon for $25. There was only one left and I bought it.
My belt is Hermes.
The belt is from Hermes. It's $920 because she has like the big one.
My shirt is SMU Bookstore. My shoes are my mom's Golden Gooses.
Her mom's Golden Goose shoes, $615, but they're custom, so an extra $130 to that, so $615.
And just the jewelry that I usually wear.
Okay, let's get into our jewelry. So this Cartier Love bracelet is $7,350, and then we have this Cartier Love bracelet for $11,900, and then we have another Love bracelet for $7,350. This Hermes bracelet is $700, and then we have this Van Cleef neck bracelet for $17,100, and then this bracelet is $6,150, and then this one is like $4,000 something, and then this one is like $8,000 something. Sorry, it's like covering the price for me. $1,940 for the Cartier Love ring. And then of course I found all these dupes on my storefront, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. The grand total is $67,655.
Holy crap. What world are we living in?
He's a 10, but he's a degenerate sports bettor that sits on the couch every Saturday for 12 hours. He doesn't even get up to go take a piss.
I mean, it depends on what he's watching. If it's SEC, he's an 8. If it's ACC, he's a 3.
I love you.
I love you so.
I love you. That's funny. I love you. Hear me out. Retire. $1 is one of the world's poorest countries. Okay.
Have you ever wondered what $1 gets you in one of the world's poorest countries? Welcome to the small landlocked country in East Africa called Burundi. And before you say that's not a nice thing to say about a country, I'm simply going off statistics and facts, and I'm not trying to put the country down. But Burundi consistently ranks first or second in the world's poorest countries according to GDP. Nonetheless, it's a beautiful country, so let's dig in. $1 is equivalent to about 5,000 Burundi francs on the black market. And this hearty breakfast of chapati and tea at the border town cost me just 7 cents. From here, I took this really busy bus all the way to Bujumbura, the capital, and this cost me 50 cents. And it was one of the craziest and most beautiful bus journeys of my life. I say beautiful because the whole whole journey was along Lake Tanganyika. Just check out these insane views. And yes, that's a lake. My favorite part was all the vendors that would come to your window every time the bus stops. This meant I could buy things along the way, like this beef kebab for 10 cents, or these local fried donuts for 2 cents. These delicious green oranges worked out to about 1 cent each, and the girthiest bananas I've ever seen for 2 cents. The bus was so busy we had to jump out through the window once we arrived. On the way to my accommodation, I had the samosa that cost 5 cents, and this is where we stayed, the house of a friend, which worked out to be free. Ended the day with a local meal of rice and beans for 10 cents. So for a full day in Burundi that worked out to just 87 cents, I didn't even get to my goal of $1. Let me know in the comments what you can get in your country for just 87 cents.
Crazy. That's wild, dude. Holy crap. Holy crap, man. Whoa. Well, the market's not doing what the market should do. Wow. The market is getting hit, though. Equities kind of bottomed a little flat, but now it's starting to continue to break down. We're very quickly getting to that negative gamma area. As you can see on SPX, all right, this is the support. So basically, either bounce now or forever hold your peace, you know, kind of one of those. So we previously ran into resistance here, then we danced around it a little bit, then we bounced, Are we going to bounce again? We're coming up to a key level, and just so you know, there's another key level 10 points below it, which is $1 below it on the SPY, but I'm just looking at the values on SPX, actual S&P 500 index. Just trying to point out to you, low, what in the world is going on? But really, it's range bound. So we're just coming to the bottom of the range. Will it break? I have no idea. Will it bounce? I have no idea. I'm just telling you, we're coming up to a very important level that we should all pay attention to, obviously. So just want to make sure that you guys understand 555, roughly 555 on the SPY. Very, very important level. Will it bounce? Will it break? Flip a coin. I'm just saying there might be a nice risk reward opportunity to place a trade here. So we're going to see what's going on, but we are coming up to this support. So we'll see. We'll see. How's the index looking? The index got hit. Equities are a little flat. The mags a little flat as well. But dude, this has been just pure selling. Lower highs, lower lows. Golly. Yeah, we're coming up to the low from Wednesday the 21st, Thursday the 22nd, and Wednesday the 28th. So we're coming right up, and then maybe a little bit of an overshot, but there might be another zone in here at 554, the high 553s. Once again, these are all values on the SPY. Here's a look at the Qs, which are almost at their downside gap fill. That would be a clear target, 465.11, which is the high from Wednesday, August the 14th. But 465.11, we are breaking down below this cloud. So that doesn't look so good. That does not look so good there, Tonto. That does not look good at all. Wow, ES, fresh low. NQ, fresh low. Wow. What are you guys riding this down? Are you guys long puts? I'm curious how you guys are all positioned on this one. You guys riding this down? You trying to revert? Are you just waiting for the unemployment report on Friday? How are you guys particularly playing it? For me, I'm positioned that it bounces off of this. And then obviously if it breaks below it, I'm just going to get out. But I'm playing that we get a support bounce here. It's a 50-50 bet. I'm not trying to say that like, oh, this is a super high odds. I just know it's a support and I'll be able to react to it. So if it doesn't act as support, I get out. If it does act as support, great. I'm playing the bounce off of it. There's not too much to it. So I'm wondering, I'm expecting it to at least bounce a little bit. Will the bounce hold? Well, that might leave a little bit room of discussion and luck. I have swings, haven't made a play today. Yeah, today's just not the nicest of days. It really isn't. Gold's not really doing anything. Someone said gold, but I'm seeing chop sideways movement. Oil still looking super weak, almost down to 70 a barrel. This is actually getting to the if it keeps going, we're actually getting to the zone that the Biden administration said they would start to replenish the SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is getting close. All right, we're also getting to that. I mean, if the SPY is gonna bounce, we're getting to that zone, brother. If it's gonna bounce, it should start bouncing. But the sellers have just not stopped. The sellers have not stopped. Jesus. Let's see how this one goes. It's kind of the time. Holding 200K stocks from Hindenburg Research News last week. 20K. So wait, are you somehow trying to connect that to SMCI? How is SMCI doing after that, actually? Actually slightly green on the day. Holy shit. So far today, I've decided for other traders wins for... Wait, hang on. I can't. It's one of my buttons is blocking your full message. Sell high, buy low, baby. So far today, I've decided to find other traders winners today, dude. I'm there with you, but I'm hoping for a little bit of a potential bounce to make some money. Just playing some key levels. Nothing too crazy. The strategic oil reserve should have never been emptied, most likely, and definitely not to the degree that it was kind of just rummaged, pillaged, if you will. I agree. I mean, it's incredibly low. What are they talking about here? Did they bring on our boy Kramer? I guess they brought no one on. Just CNBC's going dark. All right, we're going to get the 11 a.m. reversal or the 11 a.m. dump. Stocks react to analyst calls.
They like the recent underperformance, also creating that good entry point with the overhang of Berkshire Hathaway's share sales overshadowing what they expect to be better net interest margins, also expense management in the coming months as well. So B of A shares, pay attention to those. Meanwhile, you've got shares of the biggest money center banks out there. JP Morgan Chase right now down nearly 1.5%, getting downgraded by Deutsche to a hold from a prior buy. They maintain the $235 price target after a span of outperformance so far this year. Those shares are left with fewer upside catalysts in the near to medium term.
Not much in price,
of the good news on things like net interest income, sales and trading results, and investment banking have now been priced into that stock. So over the last year, up 51%. We'll cap things off, though, with Deutsche Bank itself. The German lender is getting upgraded by analysts over at Barclays to an overweight rating from a prior equal weight. The target price goes up to 22 euros. It was 14 euros prior. They think there's potential for better than expected earnings generation power, and it's less reliant on net interest income as interest rate trajectories, Carl, head lower in the coming months. So those shares down 2.5%. Now, for more on those other top calls of the day, just head over to cnbc.com/pro. Subscribers get full access, Carl, to the detail and analysis of those reports. I'll send things back over to you guys.
All right, Don, appreciate that. Don, too. Money Movers begins after this.
Mauled. Money Movers after this. Money Movers. Money Movers. Are they going to do anything in here? I mean, this is kind of the spot. If they're going to want to bounce it, this is kind of here. That's why I keep coming back and forth to options to see if any one of two things, either buyers to step in or sellers to stop. And the index is showing that the sellers are stopping. If anything, people are probably taking some profits on puts and some calls are coming in. Yeah. So people are trying to buy calls off of this level. Not much. People are realizing their profits on puts. Once again, not much. The market's been pretty freaking beat up. So we're seeing, I guess, a breather, but nothing to run home to mom about. Yeah, dude, so much call selling, dude. They were dropping the gamma like nothing. All of it. Look how many calls were sold this morning. Just all day. It took 3 minutes into the day, and someone just kept selling calls, longer dated calls. That's the real thing going on, is longer dated calls. Same thing in the Mag 7. They're just selling their longer dated calls. I guess people are feeling less optimistic about this the range breakout to the upside. The reason we're going down is because of how many calls were just exited. Like, no, we don't need this anymore. And when a bunch of calls are exited, especially in a positive gamma environment, that means that these dealers who were hedging their books by owning the underlying equity, well, as the calls are being sold, they no longer have to hedge. So they just sell their hedge. So they're selling the equities, thus causing it to drop. And then as it drops, probably most likely people are like, well, I really don't need these calls now. So then they sell even more calls. And as you can see, it becomes like a pretty vicious like feedback loop. But it does look like things are calming down ever since 10:45 Eastern. It seems that 10:40, a little bit later there. But it does seem, and we're even seeing a bit of a pop. Either a breather or a potential trend reversal, but we're at that level. Like I said, the SPY 555, and then the Qs 466? Oh, yeah, 465, this downside gap fill that it looks like we're about to hit. Not that far away. Not that far away. Are we going to bounce or not? Decisions. Do you mind on elaborating gamma environment? Oh, it's just a gamma. Like, yeah, there's like the math to it isn't the easiest thing to understand, but on the highest level, when you're engaging in any form of options trading, whether you're buying or selling calls or buying or selling puts, whether you're long or short calls, long or short puts, that alters the gamma and delta exposure of market dealers. The people, when you buy a call, someone sells you the call, the market dealer. When you sell a call, someone's buying it off of you, the market dealer. So whenever you're changing your options positions, it's altering the delta and the gamma. So when the market's all leaning on one side, the dealers can have positive gamma, or when the market's all leaning on the other side via calls and puts, they could have negative gamma. The telltale signs of a positive gamma environment, which you can measure, like we know the exact gamma reading at any moment in the day. When it's in positive gamma, those are the days, and these are actually most days, like most days you have positive gamma. That's the highest percentage of trading days in the US market and probably global markets. Most days, which are positive gamma causes the dips to be bought and the rallies to be sold. So you end up getting muted moves. Like you don't get that big of moves. Negative gamma, which is more of a rare circumstance, those are the days where you get big moves because, and this all has to do with how the market makers have to hedge themselves, like these dealers, these option dealers. So positive gamma, the moves, it's mean reversion. It's like a rubber band you get smacked back in. Negative gamma, which is more of the rare case, those are the days where you start to break one way and you're most likely going to keep going that way. And all of that, I mean, I just track it in real time via Spot Gamma. I'm sure there's other services that do it. It's just Spot Gamma is like my favorite to do it. So right now, we're actually getting to a point where we started off today and the S&P 500 was in a pretty positive gamma situation, but we're actually right now closer to zero. Like we're in between positive and negative. And if it keeps going below SPX below 5,550, it can get some like legitimate negative gamma, which is where you're going to start seeing those bigger moves and like the big continuation days. So we're not there quite yet. And I know you're probably looking at this and saying, well, it seems like we're in a big continuation. We are on an intraday basis, but in the grand scheme of it, we're not. If anything, I mean, you could see we're still in this range. So we're really not breaking out or anything like that. That's some higher end option stuff. It's important to know. But if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I've been trading options for a couple of months, why haven't I heard about it? It's kind of like some of the highest end options knowledge you can have when you're starting to learn about Vanna and Charm and the market makers gamma exposure. And it's all important. And I think I implore you guys to all learn about it for sure. But it's not like the first thing you would be learning as an options trader. Some of it is a little funky to really get your head straight on it, and it has some complex math, but it's good to know. Definitely good to know. Anyway, first couple things. All right, numero uno. Shout out to Public right here. Public, it's the best place to trade options. There's no commissions, there's no per contract fees, and you get paid a rebate. It's the only brokerage I know of where you get paid a rebate to trade options. Check it out. The rumor mill is that this week they're going to be rolling out some awesome updates that I think you're all going to like. Free to download, free to sign up, so you have nothing to lose. Check them out. My favorite place to trade options. So that's one thing. Shout out to Public. They've been so nice to us and partnered up with us for a while. So it would mean a lot to me if you show them a bit of love. And I also want to let you guys know in less than an hour, you have 55 minutes to sign up for the Discord. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Prices are going up in 55 minutes. I'm not changing it. This is a hard deadline. It was supposed to be midnight last night. Many people emailed me saying, hey man, I was on vacation, I missed it, blah, blah, blah. I thought I let you guys know for weeks in advance, but maybe it was just me and my poor timing. I don't know, 50-50. So just in case it truly was my fault, I decided to make it noon today instead of midnight last night. So you have 55 minutes to follow the link pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video to sign up. When you sign up, not only are you going to be a premium member on Locals, that's how you get access to the Discord. In the Discord, you get my trades, the Piper signals, the salad bar signals, everyone else's trades. You're going to get access to all the previous lectures, all the newsletter. There's a lot going on there. And for you to test it out, the first month is free if you put in the code Goonie, if you pick the monthly plan. There's also the annual plan where you save 2 months. But if you pick the monthly plan and put in the promo code Goonie, you need to enter it. You need to apply it. The first month is free, which means you can test drive the entire Discord server for free. No cost to you. If you like it, great. Stick around. You're grandfathered into the cheaper price because you signed up today before noon. And if it's not for you, just make sure to cancel your account within the first month, and it didn't cost you anything anyway. But once again, this is your final reminder. I'm not going to be annoying you after this, but prices are going up in 55 minutes. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Don't freak out and don't worry if you're like, I can't get connected to the Discord. As long as you're a supporter on Locals before noon, you're good to go. And I can personally help you get connected if you're having issues. Feel free to reach out to me, media@matthewkors.com. You could DM me on Twitter, Matt_Kors, or DM me on Discord, which will be the fastest, MMK147. Those are all the ways you could reach out to me, but you don't have to panic if you're like, I'm not connected. You will be grandfathered into the current deal as long as you are a supporter on Locals by noon today, within the next 54 minutes, just so everyone knows. That's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're ready for a great week and a great month. I think we have a lot of fun on the horizon. I'll be posting content a little bit later on today, and then we're going to be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. I hope to catch you there. Peace out. I appreciate all the love. Peace.